Had a question from or a request from one of our readers on how we've been tying the olive brown near deer. So we decided to answer the mail by making this video. So here are some of the parts that are here, the material that we use to make the olive and brown near deer. In this case, we start out with some jig heads, 1/24 weight, or 1/124th weight on a size 10 hook. And this is a silver head. You can use gold as well. We'll use some light wire. In this case we're using a copper, but we also use gold as well. And then we have this Brown Flash Chenille, really bushy looking. And then some Marabou for the olive portion of the near deer. And that's an olive tying thread. And then lastly we have the grizzly hackle. And that's pretty much what we use to make the olive brown near deer. Okay, we've got the jig in the vise, and now we're just going to lay a thread base like you typically would do on a normal fly. So we'll take it just to where the bend, or right where the hook point comes to the bend, right about here. Give it a little hump just to make it a little bit, make the Marabou stand out just a little bit. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll take a piece of the plume, Marabou plume, and what we'll like doing typically is just use a whole plume and cutting the tips off. I mean, you can probably make some adjustments here or there on, you know, what works for you. Just figure that might as well go for it. So what we'll do is about the same length as the jig right here. We'll just kind of pinch it off and tie it in place with a loose wrap initially. Just like that. Just make sure we've got it in there, and then trim it. And after it's trimmed, we'll go ahead and move thread on up and back just to get all the ends in place. And there's the first piece where we put the Marabou tail on the near deer. Alright, the next piece we'll put in there is some of the copper wire, or wire. You can use gold, copper, and whatnot. But we'll just lay in a piece there and keep the line at the back, right where we started that tie-in for the plume, or the Marabou. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll get a piece of the grizzly hackle. And what we're looking for is a piece that will Palmer wrap to give it a little bushiness or bugginess that gives it its fish appeal. And so here is one that we'll be using, and we'll start out by kind of removing some of these end feathers or fibers right there, and just to clean it up a little, and then we'll trim it just like that. And then next thing we'll do is lay that one on the wrap. Get that secured in place. And so what we have is a wire, the grizzly hackle, and then we'll add the chenille. In this case it'll be the brown chenille. Other variants that we've done is the olive tail with a white chenille, an olive chenille, as well as the brown one. And in this case we're going to go with the brown one for this demo, but all you got to do is just replace the chenille that you'd like to use for the near deer that you'd like to make. So in this case we'll start out with trimming some of the fibers so that we have just the thread showing, and we'll get that one started. Okay, and then we'll use our rotary tool on our vise, or rotary function on our vise, to lay in the chenille body. And the way we do that is just take a couple of wraps around the thread, and then we'll just kind of move the rotate the vise so that we have the chenille being wrapped around the jig and to the forward portion of the jig head or fly, and then we'll secure it in place with a couple of wraps, after which we will trim the excess. And so what you have is the brown body, and it's take a few more wraps just to make sure that we do have it in place, and that's it. Okay, next we'll go ahead and palmer wrap the hackle. We'll do this using our hackle pliers, and we'll just take a grab at the tip, and we'll begin working it around, just working it just to the front of the fly, and there we go, nice and buggy looking. and we've done it before where we'll use a smaller size hackle as well as this size, just going with what we feel seems to be working at the time. And in this case we've noticed is the more buggy look of the fly seems to be helping getting more bites. So we'll go ahead and secure that down. Okay, and then finally we will finish things up by getting the wire wrap around the fly. Alright, had a little technical difficulties here, but we're back up and started again. Let's go ahead and get this copper wire secured. All we'll do is just work it through the palmer wrap of the grizzly hackle, and just take it to front, and at that point we'll go ahead and secure it in place with a couple of wraps. No more than a couple of wraps. Okay. And then some folks say it's better to twist it off and break it. I'll just keep a little set of pliers or cutters, and I'll just cut it right here. Just a little bit short there, and then take it a couple more times and around. Okay, and then we'll just trim off some of the excess hair coming out up front here, and then we'll just use a whip finish tool to go ahead and finish the wrap here. Having a hard time here because the camera's kind of in my way, but let's see. We'll just do a couple of wraps. Get it nice and secure. And then that's the Olive and Brown Near Deer. Other than that, we'll just apply some head cement or on the wraps to make sure it's all secured in place, and then it'll be ready to go for some fishing. Okay, I'd like to just show some of the variations that we'll do. In this case, this is the Olive Brown Near Deer. We just showed you how we tied, and what we did was we just tied one with a shorter tail compared to this one. And what we'll do is depending on how they're biting and seeing which ones they want to hit, we'll just switch between the different flies and see which one seems to be getting the better hookup rate. Alright, till next time, we'll catch y'all later, and good luck and good fishing.